Turn on the faucet and make a meal. It's time to wash your hands. Turn on the faucet and wash your hands. Dun, 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 dun. Really quick build, man. I've been wanting to do this video all day, like since yesterday, and I never did it because I was so busy. I'm busy today for like half of the day, and then the rest of the day I'll be free to kind of do other stuff. But I got like an hour or so to kill, so I want to do this video and I want to post it to YouTube. And I really want to get into the nuts and bolts of relationships. And I was really thinking about this as I was taking a shower yesterday. Like, yo, this is really crazy. All I have to do is turn on a faucet, right? Turn a knob and water come out. I was like, yo, that's bugged out, right? And then I started to think, like, it's not even that simple. And it's like every house on the block got running water. I'm sitting here freaking the fuck out because I'm like, yo, that's amazing. That's amazing. And then I started to think about like the deeper reality of it. Like the deeper reality is that somebody is thinking about this type of energy. Like somebody can figure it out. Like an engineer, a city engineer can figure out how to map out a water system to get it pressurized, to clean the filtration system, and do all of these technological or magical things. And I'm just sitting there like, yo, keys. I thought I grabbed them. I thought you grabbed them, Kyrie.
I was gonna say.
You better have. No,
I was gonna say, well, I'll go and get the spare.
Right.
I'll figure it out later.
Whew. That was traumatic. But anyways.
Your son keeps spilling stuff.
My son keeps spilling stuff?
Yeah, Jesse.
Shoot, I did a whole lifetime of being clumsy. So that's really no surprise for me.
I was referencing him spilling my tea earlier.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I hear you. That light went on. So as I'm looking at the water system, the filtration system, I'm like, yo, this shit is amazing. And sometimes, like, when you drive through a neighborhood and your third eye is, like, open, you can feel the flow of water as you drive through the city. Because it's literally like we live in Atlantis, like, but the water is under us. And I got a larger point in reference to relationships. Now, say for instance, you turn on that water and it don't come out. Like, no water comes out the faucet. But you paid your bill, right? Ain't nothing wrong with the fact of, like, you paid your bill. Your bill is paid. It's a mechanical issue. And generally, you'll call a plumber out, right? Plumber do your whole situation like, there's nothing wrong here with this plumbing system. This is perfect plumbing. It must be something wrong with the city. So now we got to check the pipes in the city. But then it's like you figure out it's not going to go so far because you only check it to see how far, like, it goes through the neighbors. Like, your neighbors will have the ultimate say, all right, from this house to this house, they ain't getting no water. So therefore, we find the plug and then we figure out how to solve it. So how does this relate to relationships? When we have positive relationships, that's just like turning on the water and the water coming out, turning the knob and the water coming out, and we could get so used to it. But do you and your significant other have a plumber, a mediator for when times get rough? Or are y'all certified plumbing technicians, meaning that y'all can determine whether, because what I'm saying is, it's so easy to be in a relationship when the shit is just clicking, right? But when you turn on that goddamn faucet and that water don't come out, how do you respond? Do you then start to cuss each other out? Well, the water ain't cutting on, right? And we using any type of relationship, strain, trauma, pain, difficulty, misunderstanding. It's a result of not having the skill, the technical knowledge to allow the emotional outpour. So what I'm saying is, if men can't fix their fucking plumbing, then generally you're going to have relationship problems. Or else you can keep your fingers crossed and hope for every morning that you wake up, you turn the knob and the water's going to come. And you're going to pay your water bill, right? You're going to pay the rent, right? You're going to pay all of your utilities and you're going to keep your fingers crossed. But what I noticed about Mercury retrograde, such a trickster that guy is, he said, y'all literally be dependent on the wrong things. Y'all be dependent on having y'all fingers crossed and not dependent on the actual skill it would actually take to irrigate water from a natural water source to your home, to have the actual relationship skills to deal with what is going to happen financially. Niggas is not prepared financially. Because if we were to actually be prepared financially, we would be trying to find the biggest house and trying to move as many people as we can move in, because we can't afford it in America by ourselves. That's technical. Now, spiritually, right? Now let's do this. The dismissal of spiritual band-aids in the realms of relationships. Because when you do spiritual band-aid shit within your relationship, like emergency, trigger alert, spiritual shit, you gotta understand that spirituality and spiritual cognizance is much smarter than your dumb ass. So you can't just go to it when needed. This is why I stress offerings. This is why I stress aesthetics. This is why I stress developing a personal God for yourself, so you don't have to reference, once the water get cut off, what ritual do I have to fucking do? Does that make sense? Be proactive with your spiritual. Be real with your spiritual shit. Because if you only use your spiritual shit when it's down, now let's be 100, right? Say for instance, you're the most generous person in the whole wide world. If I ask any one of y'all easily say, yes, I'm very generous. But every single one of y'all, if your cousin Ray Ray called you every day asking you for $5, that should have pissed you off at a certain point. Am I lying? So generally, everybody has their limit when it comes to giving. Even your ancestors. Wait a second. I just gave you the analogy. You got to understand. You always praying to your ancestors for help. but not giving them no food, not giving them no water, not giving them no love. See, this is a skill within your relationship when the going gets rough, that you've already developed that rapport. So generally, if there is an issue, you can use your technical or pragmatic knowledge and start using the law of deduction, the law of reasoning, the law of logic, the law of physics, the law of biology, nigga. It's all for you to thrive. Am I lying? Everything on this earth, a fucking plant will grow the most delicious berry of all fucking time. And it doesn't become a delicious berry until you enjoy it. So what am I saying? The actual skills to create a flow within your relationships is much better than to walk into some shit that you can just be like, hey, soon as I came here, the water was flowing. I don't know how it worked, but I really do like the function of it. I don't know how to fix it if it break down. Matter of fact, when it break down and when the water stop flowing, I'm gonna be mad. No, thank you. So, I really just want to address and build and touch on the need for conversations in relations to relationships. No pun intended. I'm very led and guided by a specific energy and a specific frequency that has me say specific things and live into a specific accordance. However, I understand that we live in an emotional world and emotions create value, right? The fact that you have running water is a luxury. It's a privilege. But as we had referenced during this Mercury retrograde, so what happened in Texas happened all over the country. It just happened in different ways. What am I talking about? A power failure, or losing power, or losing what you find comfort in, something that you built in. But the key is you didn't really build the shit. You just walked into that shit and you took that shit for granted in the space that you thought that that shit was going to last forever. Your relationships, your relationship to power, your relationship to whatever is unhealthy and unbalanced, and just you take. There is a mechanic to that taking. And I know that, you know, these funky logics out here of take advantage of people, get a person that has this, get a person that has that, and have no accountability for yourself. I understand that. But any situation that you deem is great, that you deem as like, damn, I wish that I could be on that level, or whatever the case may be, it's a mechanic to that shit. It's a minutia to that shit that I promise you in 2021, I don't even think y'all can even do that no more. I think y'all ADHD is that bad that y'all can't even sit down on y'all ass for more than 20 minutes no more. Y'all done resulted into little children with your ability to stay focused on a particular topic enough to download and digest and process, to analyze, and then reprogram it within your mind and within your words, and have the actual contextual technical knowledge to say, okay, my water is not working, so I know what fucking tool to grab, I know what fucking pipe to grab, and I can just put that shit in there. Y'all spiritual niggas be really going into a real live plumbing situation. We talking about a relationship. Oh, I just feel so led to you. Oh, it's just so emotionally wonderful to be with you. Listen, it's a technological, logistical, functional, pragmatical, way to that to become successful. And generally, with all things in life, if you understand the function of it, the skill of it, you become successful, right? You would be so happy if your plumber came in and did what the fuck that they had to do and bounced. They was confident. Oh, so when you turn on the faucet, you ain't getting no water. Oh, it is making that sound. Okay, let me go out to the van. Let me get these tools. I'll be right back. It take about 10 minutes. I'll be right back. Right? You would be so comfortable in that particular situation. Now, what's the counter situation to that? When I come in, I turn on the water and it ain't coming out. Okay. So here goes my price list. We can book a reading, right? We could do a Orisha profile, and we could do have you talked to your nutritionist, right? And getting all up into your personal business, right? And then like we can do a prayer. We can pray on this. We can meditate on this, and we can, wish these things to manifest in our lives if we just, work on it, and do the work, right? What if your plumber came in and told you to do the work? Nigga, man, look, you gonna have to get your ass up out of here, Mr. Plumber. But understand, that's how people are coming into their relationships. They're not coming into their relationships with logistical, pragmatical ways for it to be successful. They're coming into their relationship on the ladder, right? Praying their way into a successful relationship, emotionalizing themselves into a particular relationship, when the reality is we can sit, we can talk, we can build, we can trust, we can know, we can grow, we can show, and then if it's a trouble, we can say, hey, the water not flowing. Okay, all right, you got the wrench, I got the wrench, you got the socket, I got the socket, let's hit it, boom, 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 bam, 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 bam. You good? You good? We good, right? All of this requires infrastructure. It requires sitting the fuck down. It requires finding a common need, finding a common goal, and hitting that goal hard. Why? Because we love each other. Because we need running water. Because we need flowing emotions. Because we need truth. Right? Our water has been stocked up in the space of our emotion and we don't have the skills to be in a relationship. We do not have the financial skills to be in a relationship. No matter where you at in this country, if you're not making 6 figures at the end of this year, you are in a fucking bind, right? However, there is communal living. We still can buy big houses, right? We still can figure out roommate situations. We can still figure out how to make it easier for y'all. Got extra rooms, y'all got finished basements. It's time to open them shits up, because it's time for generational wealth. And I'm saying to black people, because the Haitians, they already know this. Chinese people, they already know this. Africans, they already know it. Black people, we still trying to be the head honcho out here in this bitch. Am I lying? We still trying to flex on these niggas. We trying to live out our personal dreams, live our personal ambitions, and communal living we could care less about. And that's why we're going to always be behind. But we can't be together if we don't have the relationship skills. If we're like, well, I don't... Man, have you ever heard this before? Man, I'm just not feeling you. What you mean you just not feeling me? You understand that we are at war? That our war is in us being separated, divide and conquer, my guy, sis? Do you understand that the people who are built and working together, they are no problem. They together. They don't like each other. They ain't feeling each other. But they realize that they need to be together. They need to work together. Their communities are fucking tight.
Found 11 cents as I got out the car.
Right outside.
And my tea is free.
Because I knew they was going to give it to you free. I knew that. ain't never lied.
Just make it easier. She said we tried to make it easier and add a little bit of value to people's day. And I'm
like attracts like.
wow.
It's super important to discuss and understand the skills, and generally when it comes to it, this is what's going to fry y'all brain and wreck y'all brain, because y'all thought relationships was easy. Y'all been trained and programmed and reprogrammed, broke down, trained, programmed, reprogrammed. Every fucking movie, fam, has showed you that relationships are easy and all you have to do is be blank, right? A lot of y'all are blank, fill in the blank. Still hard as fuck. Because generally is the analogy that I'm using is simple, but it is a technical, logical maneuvering of the different emotional, energetic bodies within each individual that when suppressed, when you cut on the water's not running today, sis. The water's not running today, bro. So when you look at your wife, when you look at your husband, when you look at your boyfriend, when you look at your girlfriend, and you want them to be how you want them to be, and they're not doing it, and you get mad, that's because you didn't have the fucking skill. Nor did you have the actual mediation within your relationship. You didn't get a counselor for your relationship. You didn't get mediation for your relationship. You said that I'm right and she's wrong, and that's the end of the story. You said he's wrong and I'm right, and that's the end of the story. But that's not actually the truth. That's the lack of skill. That's the same way as you wake up today, you cut on your faucet, you know not to call the plumber, you know not to seek plumbing skills, you just look at your wife. You must have did a spell last night. That's why the fucking water ain't running. No, you was cheating last night. That's why the water ain't running. No, it's probably a leaky valve or some shit. A pipe is off center. And I know that this conversation is easier said than done, but this is what I reference in doing chakra work. Because relationships are the center of our lives. But generally, it's not the relationship with your partner, it's the relationship that you have with yourself. So the skill is having a relationship, a thorough, bona fide relationship with yourself. And really grasp that. Because a relationship with yourself requires attention. It requires focus. It requires time. It requires effort. It requires persistence to gain that knowledge. Each chakra, you are learning a different aspect of yourself. You are building upon that spiritual foundation, and it's not hocus pocus. It's real life mechanics and skills that's gonna bring about whatever you desire, because it is you. This Mercury retrograde has really shown where we lack our power at. And this, for some of us, is very scary. For me, it's very empowering, because I know where I need to work at. I know what I need to work towards. And it is the skills, the infrastructure, and the support for successful families. Because correct me if I'm wrong, I don't see that out here in these streets. I'm talking about black psychology. I'm talking about real life, spiritual, psychological, necessary conversations that we have to have, that's not based upon Kyrie's emotional spirituality. Kyrie's skim scam flim flam version of spirituality, to where I'm making a lot of money saying a whole bunch of nonsense and I'm looking real cute on fucking Instagram and YouTube, fucking popping my collar and popping my pussy and, you know, making all the boys and girls scream. I'm not talking about that version of spirituality. And as y'all will see, that version of spirituality has been wiped off the face of the universe just like a Thanos snap, because you can't fuck with spirituality. You can't play with spirituality. Spirituality precedes the physical world, okay? That's the realest shit in the planet. After all of this physical shit go away, is going to be the spiritual miracle. And that is the technical foundational skill to all of our relationship. It is the patience and the persistence and the consistency to show up day in and day out for our family. And when we get emotional about that shit and we think that we're gonna leave because we didn't have the skills, well then I feel it's a need for me. I feel it's a need for my wife. Because a lot of people would rather run away from their responsibilities, their life, their happiness, and everything in relation to that, as opposed to sitting back and saying, you know what? I need help. You know what? I don't have the skills to handle this shit. But I love this person. And I'm not going to resent this person. I'm not going to hate this person. I'm not going to dislike this person. Because we both have not been taught how to fix the plumbing in our home. We don't even have a fucking yellow. When I was a kid, am I lying? If I'm lying, I'm flying. When I was a kid, every single year, we got a yellow page book. It had a list of every plumber in the city. It had the main profile, and then you go to the business listing, and then they was listed in alphabetical order, every plumber that you can go to. Now riddle me this, black man, in your yellow pages, if you getting them, where is your relationship skills provider? Where is your relationship caretaker or relationship fixer? Is that your responsibility? If you don't have the skills to handle it, when you love this person, when you want to make this relationship work and you don't know how to make this relationship work, you wake up in the morning and the water not coming out and you like, well, goddamn, it gotta be an issue with this person. No, it ain't an issue with that person. That person love you too. Y'all love each other. Y'all knew the vibes when y'all first got together, but how do you sustain that? How do you sustain that? Young man, you sustain that vibration through semen retention. If you were taught semen retention when it comes to dealing with your wife, you would never lose the fire. She wouldn't resent you for losing that fire. Okay? You talking about resentment in a relationship, and you talking about, oh, we just gonna work it out, or fuck you, or fuck him, or fuck her. No, it ain't fuck nobody. It's we don't have the skills or the technology to have a successful relationship. I'm relying on emotionalism. You relying on telling me hot knowledge that you learned on YouTube. Let's try to work it out. And it's not working out. So obviously there's a deeper spiritual, sexual level to what I have to do and what I have to speak to and what I have to learn within my goddamn relationship. But I feel like it is imperative, it is in need, and we are severely lacked in our spiritual relationship skills. And maybe I'm speaking to myself, but y'all ain't been helping me at all. So I know I'm speaking to somebody.
But we see it every day because there's so many single mothers. And
see, I don't want to go there. I like when you say it though, but I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna say that.
I just kind of walked in at the end.
No, I love it. I love it though, cause.
But no, but
I mean, you speak to it better than I can speak to it, cause they ain't gonna cancel me.
People already dislike me, so that's why it don't matter what I say. My directness, people dislike the directness. But no, but seriously though, if we had this, if everyone had the skills that they needed to have successful relationships, whether it's romantic or not, but have the ability to have successful relationships, then we wouldn't have so many quote-unquote single mothers and single fathers and broken homes, and you would have more in-house co-parenting, and mommy and daddy, they may have another husband or wife, but we just have one big family. Like, everyone's able to coexist.
The only way that you can coexist, though, is through sexual knowledge, though. Because that's what's happening. At a sexual level, there's a lot of sexual activity that wishes to happen that doesn't happen. Or, say, for instance, me and you meet, and we don't want to have kids. We just want to, like, be in union and, like, be with each other. We can meditate and hold space and understand about our root chakra and learn about how our sexual energy works as a personal system and create more of a sexual vibration unto ourselves by activating our kundalini than we could ever accomplish through having a sexual relationship with each other.
But I was speaking more so of the aspect of successful, like having the tools for successful relationship. And
I'm talking about the background of it, like a deeper, like if we can get from if we could not create the kids to have single mothers, that'd be ideal. If it's going to result into us breaking up, and we sense like, all right, I don't really like your personality for real, but whatever situation that we're together for, whatever we're here to learn from each other, we can learn. If we have a sexual skill to love ourselves and feel good unto ourselves, we don't have the need to have sex with anybody else. And that's just a level, and I understand that. This is what I'm just talking about skills as opposed to emotional ideas in relation to how it should be. But I understand, like, that single mother concept to me is like, I feel like where you coming from is like the damage is already done, so what the fuck is we gonna do about it type shit. And I feel that too. And my thing is, women need to come together and love on one another and support one another. If y'all saying that y'all single mothers, if this is what y'all saying, I'm not in the streets like that, so I don't know. I'll be surprised, and I don't trust what the media be saying. At the end of the day, it could be a whole bunch of families out here in the media talk about single mothers, but I think when people say what they say, they be referencing their personal experience, and I feel like that's where you coming from. Shit that you seen your friends, your family from all over the country, and at an overall sit back point where you observing this shit, you say, well, damn, it's a lot of single mothers out here, correct? Or do you see, but then your view could be something completely different, though. You could be seeing a lot of families and mom and dads too, so
it's like I've seen more families than I've seen single parents, and it's like
now in the 2021,
and even growing up.
Okay.
And it's like the people that I know who are single because they didn't have the skills to get over whatever issue it was in
whatever trauma.
Yeah, whatever it is. They didn't have the skills to get over it and work it out and talk it out. So they built up resentment and anger. And it's like I see a lot of people who have children with a man who has multiple kids by multiple women. And it's like you built this anger towards this man and this woman where y'all can be taking care of these kids and fixing whatever whatever problem that arose in the first place. So your kids have examples of what life skill of problem solving. And not just cussing out, you a hoe ass nigga, you a hoe ass bitch, and all this back and forth. But I guess when you know better, you do better. Maybe
That's the skill of it, though. I mean, learning the skill of it, or I think we can be too. I think you can be too harsh a lot of times, and not you, but I think in general society can be harsh on people in relationships, and it not working out without mediation.
Because you get
right without a counselor, without a objective point of view to say, well, Sherane, well, Jimmy, this ain't gonna work out. Well, Tim, you need to do this, and y'all both come to an agreement. Okay, this what I can work on, this what she can work on.
There's more resources out there for single mothers than there is for postpartum
or relationships.
Yeah, it's like single parenthood, single mothers, but they extend it to single fathers too, because it's not limited anymore. But that they're one of the ones that have the most resources, and it's like it seems like sometimes it's glorified.
That's why I say I don't know if it's a media creation or it's real life. I can't say.
I can't call it either.
I don't know. All I would say is that whatever situation, like if you in a bond with somebody and you having sex, then you should let somebody know that you in that relationship and the ins and out of your relationship. Because you can't feel like you're right or that person is right, because that's how many people are in abusive relationships, because they have their relationship in secrecy. So my thing is, like, I'd rather you talk to somebody outside of me. Like, generally, like, if you talk to people, I try to distance myself, because you might tell somebody, like, this nigga is crazy, I need help, and you might need to make that call. I feel like as men, we really have to be cognizant of the perception of being over our wives and not letting her think freely for herself, talk to people how they want to talk to, because you don't know how you're treating her. Even deeper, you don't know how she's receiving how you're treating her, because there's a such thing as love languages, and if you're not speaking her distinct love language, she might not interpret none of your actions to be as love. She might interpret your actions to be negative. Right? This is real ass shit that people deal with every single day, right? And they're like, I don't like that dude. He did this, he did that, he did this. And then generally what it translates to, I don't like him. He refuses to speak my love language. Because he come through every night, right? Lay the pipe down, cook him dinner. But you grow to resent him because he refuses to speak your love language. So, like I said, this is going to be a short little boom, boom, bap, bap. Follow Chakra Nova for more Schools of Sexual Science lessons. We'll begin those this week. The link is pinned. And other than that, get a relationship mediator. Get a relationship counselor. Book a synastry reading. Don't have your relationship be in the dark, because generally you might be abused and you don't even really know it, because you refuse to speak on the dynamics of your relationship. A lot of the dynamics in the relationship is unhealthy because the water is not flowing and nobody is talking about it. And generally, I know what I need to do with my life, and that spread the awareness. So,